Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel at VAG Technic. It's 4 in the morning. We are going to Cambridge because the RS6 projects get a bit of out of hand, unfortunately. This video is sponsored with a very special sponsor, A-Line Trucking in Dudley. Thank you very much for letting us the van. It helped us a lot because we have to carry, hopefully later on today, an engine in it. The van is fully loaded with tools and everything what we need for it, but I will probably explain you on the way, somewhere on the way, or maybe on the spot what's going on, what we're doing. And yeah, the RS6 build is get out of hand, but I will explain you when I'll have all the stuff back from the machine shop. So meanwhile, we're going to the van, we're going on the motorway. We have 2 hours, over 2 hours of drive. I'm not sure actually if I will be allowed to film there. I'm really hoping so, but we'll see. I'll keep you updated. And again, thank you to Airline to borrow us the van, the Ferrari from them. And especially thank you to Dave because he can do something better on Saturday, like probably rest and have a beautiful weekend. Instead of that, he took the adrenaline with me, and we are going 2.5 hours away to pick up an engine where we've never been before, and it will be definitely a fun adventure. After the last video where you've seen, guys, I was digging around, and unfortunately the UK market is a bit dead, especially even with the RS6s, not even talking about the engines. So I was even looking on Marketplace in Germany, I was looking on eBay, I was looking in loads of other websites, even scrapyards who are breaking a lot of cars and engines. And I did struggle, to be honest, because it's like, it's a rare engine. All of them are almost like high mileage and the condition is unknown and stuff. And I know some of you in the comments mentioned to do a 1.9 swap, but I think it will lose the bit of the characteristics of the V10 if you do a 1.9 swap. So at one night I did find out this gentleman on, I think it was on eBay, who was selling the whole car or breaking it for the parts. And yeah, compared to the other companies, I usually find average the engine about 6,000 to 8,000 pounds, including delivery, as a bare engine. So no turbos, no piping, no nothing, just 2 cylinder heads, bottom end, and you gotta swap everything to it, which is quite a lot of money for an unknown condition V10. In this case, it's a full engine, what we will be picking up today. Well, hopefully everything all right. And yeah, it's just turbos, inlet, injectors, oil pump is included. So it looks like it's a good deal. For original, we have a deal for £6,500. But that was before I told them I would like to come down and see the engine running and ideally take it out at the same time. So I think the owner of this RS6 was a bit shocked that we are some kind of a clowns, which will come down with a hammer and a screwdriver and will be somehow removing the engine at his property. So he was a bit skeptical in the beginning. The conversation didn't move as quick. Maybe he didn't take us too seriously. Then I mentioned, like, look, we have a YouTube channel, so you know we do this job sort of on a daily basis. Not like a V10 removed in front of the house, but we are removing engines. So we did have a deal the last week that we will come on the weekend. But as you can see, the weather conditions are not the best. So luckily the car is or should be parked under some kind of a roof, and there should be conditions to actually remove the engine in front of the house somewhere where the car is actually parked. So I have no idea where we're going. I have no idea what's the condition of the car. I didn't even see it running on the picture and video. But after 2-hour drive, and once we receive the postcode, this is where we end up. Right, guys, so we are with Dave here. We get a postcode first, which was 10 miles somewhere else. After we come to the postcode, he gave us another postcode, which is 10 miles somewhere else again. And currently we are on some kind of a farm. I have no idea where we are, but this is a complete dead end, no buildings, just a farm. So I don't know what to expect really, because the car should be in a running condition. I'm really hoping it will have a registration, chassis number and everything, and there will be some kind of a key from it, so I'll keep you updated.
A few moments later.
Okay, so here we are out the RS6. We have the camera ready. The engine did start, which is absolutely amazing. Also, the spec of the car is like too good to be break, but look, soft close. Yep, it's a high mileage. That's the only problem. So the reason why the car will be break for parts because it's high mileage, and unfortunately, it's one of the days when people don't want to buy them. So we will do the compression test first. We will put the camera in to have a look at the cylinders. And if we are happy with the condition of the engine, we'll start with removal on the conditions like this, so that will be loads of fun. But yeah, we need the engine, so desperate needs desperate situations. So to check the compressions, you probably know we need to take the spark plugs out, which means all the air boxes along with the turbo pipes gotta come off. It's really limited space on the V10 because the engine bay is just like ideal for the V10, so there's not a centimeter spare. And yeah, typical number 10 was really difficult to take out. Once all the spark plugs were out, we put the camera into each cylinder just to have a look, and then we can check the compressions.
Almost 11, 10 3/4.
I can't believe that, man.
Such a shame.
It's me and my brother, we always share the car.
Okay. 11. Okay. 11. 10 and a half. Yep. Okay.
But we don't use Lambo parts, we just use TPS.
What's that noise? Is that the piston going up and down?
It's the pistons and also it's the fuel pump and everything.
Oh.
Try to...
Okay.
How many?
10.
And also the oil pump is making kind of noise
Yeah. I think it's the old pump.
because you have a dry sump, so your oil is literally in the tank on the
Yeah.
right. It goes straight in the pump, and how it's slowly turning is making.
Okay.
Yeah, that noise.
I think we turning slower and slower. It's around 10 now. Yeah, that's okay.
Out of 10.
Okay.
The interior.
Mate, these seats, you can't actually even price them up. That's the problem, because there's one and there's no other like that. So once we were generally happy with the compression and the engine condition, we finally get to it. So as you can see, the working conditions are not the best. This is actually the oil what's coming out, so the engine was standing for some time and the oil doesn't look too good. But it doesn't matter because the engine will be stripped down anyways. So like I said, working conditions are not the best. We brought literally other mattresses what we have. We were putting all these cardboards underneath because trust me, there's not worse pain than a rock stuck onto your knee. And every single time you gotta get underneath the car. It was very painful, but yeah, the work was going all right. The owner of the vehicle actually helped us as well. We were getting tea and coffee for the whole time and cookies, support our obesity, you know. But yeah, the worst part was underneath of the car to disconnect the gearbox and the exhaust. But once that was all sorted, it was sort of a straightforward job, and this is before the engine removal. Okay, so we have everything disconnected, hopefully. We did have to cut the exhaust from behind the lambda sensors because it was actually doing a bit of a problems. The exhaust is slide onto each other, and from the top front end off ideally. Right now we just have to take the mount which is holding on the chassis because that's in the way. We have too big angle, and hopefully the engine will come out with the gearbox. That's the ideal condition and that's the ideal plan. And I thought removing the engine will be the easiest part, but it wasn't, because the whole drivetrain is just so heavy. Luckily the owner borrowed us his part of the floor. It's a similar floor we got in the workshop, but because the gravel is so soft, it was just getting stuck. And also the engine is not really designed to come out from the front, like lifted and pull it from the front, because the front is a bit narrower around the turbo pipes and stuff, so ideally you need to lift the chassis. But we did manage to take it out, strip the gearbox down, take off whatever we shouldn't take, and on the end of the day the engine was loaded in. So we are finished, fully loaded, and it's 7 in the evening. Without Dave, not possible. It's just too much work, especially on the gravel. Absolutely mental. The original deal was that the engine will be for 5.5. I end up spending 11.5. So expensive weekend, but very tight. I'll tell you tomorrow why. Okay guys, so here we are, day after. Still a bit tired, but the engine is here. And of course, I went down there with a budget of £5,500, and unfortunately I end up paying 11.5. I'll tell you why in the video. And yeah, it was a very interesting situation. I must say that the owner of the RS6 was a cool guy. He was helping us, gave us coffee, tea, cookies. He went to grab the KFC later on. Absolutely brilliant. And of course, he specially allowed us to come to his private property and, you know, open the gates and let us in, because on the end of the day, we're just some foreign strangers running around the UK taking people's engines. And yeah, it was all right. So I managed to actually found it on eBay advertisement, and as you see, the engine was still there, it was running and everything was cool. So we've done the basic checks with the camera, done a compression test, and it was everything what we needed to. So at the moment the engine will be fully stripped down. If you asking me why, because I told you in the last video why, we want to prevent everything. I don't want to put a big turbo on it and then be crying a couple of 100 miles later like something went terribly wrong. So we will try to prevent as much as we can before we fully boost it. And I mean, it's still no guarantee it will not go. It's something very risky to be doing, but we'll do our best. Yeah, we spent probably 6 hours with Dave on the gravel car park underneath the shelter, taking the engine out. It was painful, especially without the ramp, because anything you want to do, you gotta get underneath. There was a very tight access, and it was just another typical Audi RS6, which I wouldn't say it was in bad condition, but because it was standing for so long, a few things didn't go well. We have to cut the exhaust, what you see, and it's just, yeah, it was more difficult than you have to do it on the ramp. But the engine was removed, and I'm actually happy that we went down there and do it, because the only other option was to buy an engine from Germany, which was a bare engine for €8,500, which is probably like 7,200 pounds. And then there are a few only bare engines on marketplace with no evidence, what condition is it, no warranty, come and pick it up, cash and collection. So quite risky. In this case, for the £5,500, we have full engine with inlet manifold, high pressure fuel pumps, turbos, injectors, rails. There were also like 10 new coil plugs. The spark plugs don't look that bad, and I've got everything what I need. Also, we still have the bits from the engine what came originally out from the blue one, which means I should be capable to build 2 engines, but I have to find out when the block will arrive, is it actually in good nick to go through the repair on the block, because I don't want to put 10 liners in and then I'll find out the bottom end for the crank is just damaged, or it's like squeezed, pushed, moved or whatever, because the crank was bent. But so far I will focus on this one, because it will take me a couple of hours to actually strip it down. And again, we gotta check everything. We have to make sure everything is in good order. I will probably take out the best of both engines, what I can actually pick up, and see what we actually gonna use. If I'm gonna build the second engine, at least I will have loads of spare parts like pistons, rods, intake. I have a spare turbos if I need to. If not, they're sort of good for reconditioning because the housing is not cracked or anything's wrong with it, so that's fine. Of course, the engine done 170,000 miles. I'm very surprised how it looks from inside and how it was running and everything. There were no fault codes, which is good. Also, the owner, after start up the engine, he was like, "You want to go for a drive before we strip it down?" And I was like, "Nah," because it was standing for a very long time and we don't know the oil condition and, you know, loads of other things. And on the end of the day, all of us were happy we didn't went for a drive for the last time, because that will be really for the last time for the engine. So when we were stripping the engine down and I removed that hose from the turbo to the intercooler, there was probably like 1 liter of oil sitting there, and that was a proper death trap for the engine, because I don't think the turbo is actually faulty. I think what happened is how the car was standing for a long time. You have these one-way valves in the oil pump which are not allowing the oil to go by the gravity over into the turbos and leak out through the inlet turbine. So, but that will be all changed anyways. And like I said, it don't bother me too much even if the turbos are gone. I literally mainly I need the bottom end, which is the block himself. I have another crank. I have forged rods, pistons and everything, so yeah, there will be some good spare bits from it. I didn't really have time to mess around too much while we were there, because like I said, time was ticking and we want to get it out of the way as well, because everybody's got different things to do. So we only filmed the compression test, but just to show you how 170,000 mile blue look like, the bore, and it's like absolutely no scratches. Of course there will be some minimum scratches because that engine done some mileage. Nobody's saying it will be like brand new, but I was actually surprised. I didn't expect this condition. There's a small scratch right there, but other than that it looks really nice. So yeah, we're gonna strip it fully down. I will inspect it and everything will go to the machine shop anyways before we start putting it back together. And now for the bad bit of the video, why we end up paying £11,500. Well, because when I found the car on eBay, I only seen one picture. I didn't see that the whole car, like I didn't really care about the whole car, I just needed the engine. So I ring up the guy, I told him like, it will sound probably a bit crazy, but I would like to come down and remove the engine because it's still in the car and stuff. And he was a bit skeptical, like, you think you can do it and how are you gonna do it and this and that. He did also told me in person, like, he was expecting some funny people who've never done it and it will be there probably for a week to remove it, but me and Dave are the professionals and we are removing engines while we wait. But yeah, he did help us. But the whole point is, I didn't see the spec of the car, and when I've seen the car, I look into the interior, I seen it got soft close and it got carbon ceramic brakes, which you don't have on many of them. Usually they're all on steely. So the car was like a really good spec. And I talked to the owner and I told him like, yeah, we're gonna buy the engine, strip it down, we want to build 1000 bhp. And he was like, you will need good brakes for 1000 bhp. And I told him like, yeah, but you know, carbon ceramics are quite expensive and it's just, it gotta do on the steelies for now and we'll see, maybe I'll find something. He was like, yeah, I want to sell these brakes, I've got someone and this and that. And then Dave was walking around the car and he was like, also the rays are carbon ceramic. And I'm like, full set of 4. I was like, how much you want for them? So yeah, that was the additional £6,000. And here are the brakes with the huge caliper, with a rear disc. I also have all the carriers and everything to it. They are in the back room, the Harry Potter room. And I must say that they are in really good condition and they are especially genuine. They are not like aftermarket replacement like second disc. You have the original part number there. The caliper is absolutely mental. Of course, before I put it on the car, I would like to take the car off, get it powder coated so it looks nice and clean. The Audi ceramic logo is missing. That's something what we can't do. Also, another part number, so genuine disc, no lip. So I'm very happy with him. I don't think there's something wrong with him. I didn't drive the car, so I can't tell. And also they are super light for the size. So I think it was a good idea to buy it. Leave me a comment, what do you think for £6,000 all the way around with all the heat shields, all the brackets, everything. Because realistically, if you want to push 1000 bhp, you really need to have the stopping power as well, not just the accelerate power. And I was looking online, genuine disc, one disc is over £4,000. That's plus parts, plus the calipers, so probably the setup will be like over 30 grand. We've got it for 6, and of course, anytime I can sell it, worst comes to worst. And yeah, the bill went up by 11, which means we are on £30,000. And for £30,000 you will have a non-running RS6 in your yard with no engine and dirty and still need tires and stuff. But like I said and promised, I will push it time-wise. I will push it as quick as I can, get everything sorted, even that is quite expensive and it's costing like loads of money. But it's a dream, 1000 bhp. And I do like the C6 platform still, it looks sick. And the blue, you must admit, it's a very nice color. But right now we have Sunday. I have to get the engine on the stand, start stripping it down. That will be another video, guys. So it will be something interesting. I'll keep you updated. What's the condition inside? That's a big, nobody knows like what we're gonna find. Big question. And yeah. So this is my Sunday. So right now I will end the video here, guys. Thank you for watching. Again, thank you for the support and everything. The engine is coming on the stand and I'm gonna start stripping it. So thank you for watching again. Take care for now. See you in the next one. See ya.